So we were doing physics O levels, GCE physics, IGCSE, and physics at Excel. So before I get into the paper pattern, how many papers are there, and the components of it, I would like to give a brief introduction to the syllabus. So we have total of 5 sections, and I guess there are a total of 28 chapters here, starting with general physics, optics, waves, thermal physics, and electricity and magnetics. So we're going to start with units and measurements, and we are going to cover then kinematics and dynamics and so on. As you can see, there are a total of 28 chapters, and still after this is basically a general overview, and after this there are still some extra topics that need to be touched for the IGCSE and Excel. For instance, there is the chapter of astrophysics in Excel. It's a very interesting topic, and we will have to cover that afterwards. So this is basically a general overview of the syllabus. After covering these main topics, you will be capable of solving majority of the past papers after these topics, by the way. So now let's get into the paper pattern for this course. So first of all, we have GCE. For the GCE, the code is 5054, and we have total of 3 papers, and the paper 1 is MCQ, paper 2 is theory, paper 3 is ATP. So the MCQ consists of 40 marks, and the time span given for you to solve is 60 minutes. It's a plenty of time. I don't think it will be a problem after you have solved past papers and practiced throughout the course duration. Then we have theory, that is of 75 marks, and ATP of 30 marks. Theory basically have 2 sections, are over here. 2 sections, section A and section B. In section A you have to solve all the questions, but in section B uh, there is a choice. Not all questions are compulsory. So time given to you to solve theory is 1 hour and 45 minutes. Plenty of time. And then for ATP, 1 hour. Questions from experimental techniques. We will see that during our course, the types of questions. Then we have IGCSE. For the IGCSE, IG, I will write just IG. We have, again, we have 3 papers. The first one is MCQ. The other one is theory. And then we have ATP. So for the MCQ, we have again 40 marks. For theory, we have 80 marks as opposed to 75. And the code here is 0625. And if I missed the code for GC, I guess, and for GC it was 5054. It was 5054, and for IGCSE it is 0625. So we have 80 marks for theory, 80 marks for theory, and 40 marks for, as opposed to 30 for the ATP. So the time span to solve MCQ is not 60 minutes here. Yes, it's 45 minutes, and to be honest, it's tough to solve 40 MCQs in 45 minutes. So you have a total of each MCQ is basically of 1 mark, and you have to solve that in 45 minutes. I've seen students struggling to do that, and guess what? You will have to solve each MCQ under 1 minute, or there might be a tricky question and you might want to spend 2 minutes on it. That's up to you, but you have to practice such a way that you are able to solve one MCQ per minute. And for theory, we have 1 hour and 15 minutes, which is again 30 minutes less than that we have in GCE. 1 hour and 45 minutes. Oh, sorry, 15 minutes. Then for the ATP, we have 1 hour, same as of GCE. So you have the percentage weightage specified on the website. For the MCQ is 30%. For theory, it's 50%. And for the ATP, it's 30%, 20%, sorry, 20%. Now let's get on with the edXL. So for the edXL, we only have basically we only have two papers, paper 1 and paper 2. So for paper 1 consists of basically 110 marks, and paper 2 is of 70 marks. And the reference code I found for edXL for international, which is an international reference code, it's P4PHO/1P. 1 means paper 1 and 2 over here means paper 2, but I will ask you to confirm this from your school. And the time allotted to solve paper 1 is 2 hours, and for paper 2 it's 1 hour and 15 minutes. So what basically happens here is that the MCQs and the short structure questions and the other type of questions are all asked in the same exam. For instance, you will be asked there will be MCQ type questions in paper 1, there will be MCQ type questions in paper 2, there will be short questions in paper 1, there will be short questions in paper 2. So it's basically a mixture, and the weightage for the paper 1 is 61.1%. And for paper 2 it's 38.9%. So this one is definitely more important than, basically both are important, but if you compare the percentages, the P1 is definitely more important. And the questions from the experimental technique type questions are also can be asked in both of these exams. A very rare chance, but it's possible. So we will have to cover the unit and measurement chapter as well here from the ATP based questions, basically. So now we move on how we are going to carry this course forward. So what we are going to do is I'm going to deliver you a lecture from this chapter. For example, I deliver you a lecture from unit and measurements. So you need to listen to me and understand the concepts very carefully and try to grasp them in the class, and afterwards I will send you a written notes which I will recommend you to rewrite down on your register. And again, then if you have any confusion, you can direct to me in the next class. And I will also, after the end of every chapter, I will share topical past papers, which will be your assignment. And meanwhile, we are doing the next chapter. You have to solve the past papers of the previous chapter. So that will basically be the deadline, and hoping to carry this course forward with you guys. And if you have any query, you can contact the academy on the given contact numbers and the email. Thank you very much.